Hello, I'm Zack Goldberg, and I'm one of the co-founders of Baton. And at Baton, we're focused on enabling care team collaboration. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Stephen Milner. He's one of my co-founders, and he's also on the faculty at Johns Hopkins, and he's one of the world's leading burn surgeons. In Stephen's 35 years of practicing medicine, he's seen a lot, but one of the things that concerns him the most is when patients are harmed for reasons that could have been prevented. In fact, 200,000 Americans die every single year as a result of preventable medical errors. And these errors cost the system $17 billion. Now, you're probably sitting here wondering, how can this possibly be the case? But it's important to remember that medicine is a team sport. And just like any team sport, breakdowns in communication can cause problems. In fact, 80% of preventable medical errors are attributed to breakdowns in communication. And to put that in perspective, there are 6 million interactions among care providers every single day. That's 6 million opportunities for someone to drop the baton. And as medicine has advanced, so has its complexity. Instead of it being a game of telephone where one care provider is passing a message to another who turns around and passes it to another and so on and so forth, it is now a complicated web of interactions in which messages are being passed in no particular order. And sometimes the messages being passed are contradictory. Now, I think many of us hope that EMR adoption would have an impact on reducing preventable medical errors. But over the past decade, the number of preventable medical errors has doubled. And by some estimates, it's quadrupled. And this isn't a knock on the EMRs. It's just that there's no apparent relationship between EMR adoption and preventable medical errors. And so I think it's important that we realize that that EMRs are a documentation tool. They were never designed to be used for collaboration. So what is the care team using today for collaboration? Well, it's handwritten notes, it's computer printouts, and it's text messages that are sent around the team unsecurely and in violation of HIPAA protocol. But it doesn't have to be this way, and that's why we've designed Baton. Baton is a web-based software that integrates seamlessly into the existing workflow to enable the care team to collaborate in real time. And what I'd like to do is take you through a few use cases so you can see how a care team might use Baton. Starting with Paul Schultz, who's a resident in internal medicine. Paul logs into Baton, and he looks at his patient overview. He sees that one of his patients, Charlie, has had 6 posts to his wall since he last logged in. So he goes to Charlie's profile, and as he's scrolling through, he sees that Carla Adams has recommended chemotherapy. Not sure why, he sends a message to Dr. Adams asking her if she wouldn't mind meeting with him to explain why that's Charlie's best option. Now, Carla Adams is walking to grab a sandwich when she receives a notification on her cell phone saying that Paul sent her a message. She goes ahead and she opens up her phone, she logs into Baton, and she views Paul's message. She replies, and as she's doing so, she decides it'd be good for Sarah Schiller to be included as well. So she includes Sarah and sends a message. Now, what's happened is in 30 seconds, Paul's been able to log in, see all of his patient updates, see that one of them catches his eye, and reach out to the care team securely to set up a meeting so the 3 of them can collaborate and discuss the case. Next, I'd like to take a look at nurse Karen McGuire. Now, Karen's in the process of discharging Susan Barrow. And as she's doing so, she goes ahead and adds Sarah to Baton. So now when Sarah goes home, she'll have direct access to the care team. She then posts on Susan's wall that she's ready for discharge, so the whole team knows that Susan's ready to be discharged, and therefore it's more likely that they'll move her more quickly and that the bed will open up for another patient. Lastly, Karen goes and checks her to-do list. And she sees that one of her patients, Tamara Jones, is in need of a central line dressing change. But she also knows that a nurse named Johnny was planning on doing that. So she sends Johnny a message to make sure he hasn't forgotten. Because if he has, that could have major implications for infection. She logs out, goes about her day, and the last person I'd like to take a look at is actually Susan Barrow, the patient who was discharged earlier. She's at home, and she's in pain, and she's frightened, and she's wondering if she should return to the ER. But instead, she opens up Baton, and she sends her nurse, Karen McGuire, a message asking her what to do. Karen consults with the rest of the team and says it's not a big deal, it's normal to feel discomfort, but if you still feel pain in a few hours, please reach back out because that could be a serious concern. So now that you have a better understanding of how someone might use Baton, I'd like to say where we are. In the beginning of the year, we piloted Baton at Johns Hopkins, Southern Alabama, and St. Agnes. And using the feedback from those pilots, we refined Baton so it's no longer a minimum viable product, but it's a valuable tool for the care team. In March, we began marketing, and I'm pleased to say that last week we signed a contract with SINAI Hospital. We're in discussions with 6 additional hospitals, the Department of Defense, and 2 international organizations about using Baton as well. Our goal is to have 20 signed contracts by the end of the year. Now, I'm grateful to be surrounded by an experienced team, because without that, this wouldn't be possible. Judd, our CTO, and I both have startup operating experience, and Stephen and Harry on the faculty of Hopkins, providing guidance with product development, making sales calls, and networking with industry experts. As I mentioned, our goal is 20 signed contracts, and we'll also be raising a seed round of capital in the next 6 months to drive growth. If you feel that you can help us with our mission to reduce preventable medical errors by encouraging collaboration among the care team, please come see us after the presentations. Thank you.